Good morning, students. Today in this session let us discuss about the same. We are continuing the fifth unit natural language processing. In this today we are going to discuss about the grammars and parsing. So we know that if we take any natural language, okay, we have varieties of languages. Okay, so each language has its own structure. We have varieties of languages and each language is having its own structure. Generally that structure we called it as the grammars. The structure what we follow for different varieties of languages, that we call it as the grammars. And these grammars contains certain set of rules. These grammars contain some set of rules and it is going to determine whether that particular sentence is correct or not. So when we take any English language, we know that it will be given as subject, verb, object. That is, I can say that I eat mango, but I can't say like I mango eat. That means, so compulsory we have to follow a subject followed by verb and then object. So in this way we have to go into define some rules and that is called as the grammar. So when we take this natural language processing, there will be an NLP software. Okay, for this the input sentence, okay, some input will be the sentence to the NLP software, and this NLP software we are going to have a certain set of rules. Generally we call those rules as grammars, and then with the help of this certain set of rules which we call it as grammar, this NLP software, it is going to give to the parsing. Okay, and that parsing we are going to taking the output with the input sentence, that is the parsed text, we are going to get the output from this parsing. So an NLP software to generate some sentences, so compulsory it requires this set of rules which we call it as grammar, and parallelly a parsing. This parsing will make us clear that whether we have given the sentence is in correct format or not. So this is how it is going to work in NLP software. And this grammar contains generally two parts. One is LHS part and the RHS part. In LHS part we will have a single variable, or also we call them as non-terminals. See, any grammar consists of two parts, LHS that is left hand side and RHS that is right hand side part. Coming to the LHS we will be having either a single variable or non-terminals, and coming to the RHS part we can have single or multiple variables. And similarly it consists of non-terminals or terminals. So I'll make you clear what is this non-terminals and terminals. So this is how a grammar looks like. Now suppose take one example like John play the cricket. So when this particular sentence is given to an NLP software, so it follows some rules that this particular sentence should have a noun phrase and the verb phrase, and this verb phrase can be a verb or noun phrase, and noun phrase can be a noun, and this noun can be a determinant. So this particular thing we call it as this is LHS part and this should be the RHS part. And when you observe here, this LHS part it consists of only single variable, but whereas coming to the RHS part it consists of more than one variable, that is maybe it is single or multiple variables, and those are called as non-terminals or terminals. So what we call this as non-terminals can be further divided, that is what we call it as the non-terminal. So this is just an introduction to the grammar. Let us see now in the next let us discuss about now the grammars. Let us define first what is this grammar. That grammar is also called as the context free grammar context-free grammar, or also it is called as a phrase structure grammar, or else simply we call it as the backness nor form grammar. So this it is a formal language to generate the all possible strings. So what is this context-free grammar? It is a formal grammar which is used to generate all possible strings. All possible strings, that is we call it as the grammar. And a grammar is a four tuple, that is V, T, P, S. Maybe in compiler design also you might have learned this context free grammar or phrase structure grammar, or else we can also call as the backness nor form grammar, and it is a four tuple. So we call this G as a grammar, and where V is called as the variables, T is called as the terminals, and P is called as the production rules, okay, and S is called as the start symbol. So any grammar should start with a start symbol, okay. So these non-terminals are also, we can call it as the variables, okay. So variables are also called as the non-terminals. So these non-terminals can be anything, any English word that may comes under these non-terminals, and these variables can be, as we have seen, that is sentence, noun phrase or verb phrase, any determinant, any auxiliary terms, all these comes under this variables. And this what do you mean by this determinant? Whenever we see some sentences like then, this, all this comes under this determinant. And noun, we know that, okay, it may be a book, okay, flight, John, or something like ball. These are all comes under noun, okay. And auxiliary terms are nothing but, we know whenever we see something, sentences like does, is, these are all comes under the auxiliary. So these all comes under this particular variable. And these production rules, next one is important one is the production rule. I already told that production rule should be something like this. That will be, the production rules are, a sentence should be followed by word phrase or noun phrase, and a verb can be noun or verb phrase, and noun phrase can be a noun or noun phrase, and noun can be a determinant. Like this, we are going to follow some production rules whenever we want to generate some possible strings. So this is what the we call it as the context free grammar, and always it follows alpha determines beta. That is, alpha is nothing but a single variable, compulsory alpha should be a single variable, and beta can be a combination of variables and terminals. So it may be a combination of variables and terminals. So this is what we call it as the, generally this rule it is going to follow. What is the rule? A context free grammar is going to follow is alpha defines beta, where alpha is a single variable, beta is a combination of variables plus terminals, okay. So let us see some more regarding this grammars. So now we know that the syntax, which is very important in a grammar, syntax addresses the question how sentences are constructed in particular languages, and a grammar is nothing but a set of rules that govern the composition of these sentences, and parsing refers to the process of analyzing an utterance in terms of its syntactic structures. So here we have three types of grammars. One is a phrase structure grammar, what we discussed now. It is developed by Noam Chomsky. And next one is the dependency grammar, and the third one is the categorical grammar. Let us discuss in detail about this constituency grammar. That is, it is also known as phrase structure grammar, and it is called constituency grammar as it is based on the some constituency relations. In the further slides, I'll show you what is this constituency relationship. And all the related frameworks view the sentence structure in terms of this constituency relation. And to derive this, we take the help of subject to predicate division of Latin as well as the Greek grammar. Here, we study the class structure in terms of noun phrase and the verb phrase. And here, this is the just illustration of this constituency relation. As I earlier told you in grammar, that sentence can be noun phrase or verb phrase. Noun phrase can be determinant or noun. And verb phrase can be verb or again it may be verb phrase. Again verb phrase can be divided as verb and noun can be determinant, auxiliary and another noun. In this way we are going to derive a parse tree with the help of this constituency grammar. And next, say this, to derive these properties generally for this constituency grammar, we generally take the help of these parts of speech tagging, that is POS, a noun or verb phrase identification, that is example we can take as constituency grammar can organize any sentence into its three constants, that is a subject, context and an object. Let us see what do you mean by this subject, context and an object. See here, a sentence in constituency grammar consists of three terms, subject, context and the object. So, and it is going to take three different values, and as a result they can generate the different sentences. For example, you see here the subject, it may be horses, the dogs, they, when we are discussing about something like human being. Context, the horses are running, the dogs are barking, they are eating. Object, in the park happily since the morning. So this is subject, this is context and this is object. So with the help of this above constants, constituency grammar can generate the sentence in this way. So these are called as the constants. Remember, constants consists of a subject, context and the object. Okay. So the same here, another type of this constituency grammar. This is a structure like determinant, noun, adjective, verb, preposition, determiner, noun. And the same sentence, okay, if you see like the dogs are barking in the park, now we want to assign parts of speech tagging to this particular sentence. So the is nothing but the determinant followed by noun, and this is J is nothing but the adjective followed by barking is verb, and this is preposition, determinant and the noun. So in this way, particular for a grammar which has generated with the constants, that can be tagged with parts of speech tagging. This is another view. And see, these are some of the example of constants like noun phrases, verb phrases and prepositional phrases. We know all these are the English grammars. And this is context-free grammar. Just now I discussed, it is powerful formalism to describe the syntactic structure of natural language, and it is developed by Chomsky and allows one to specify rules that state how a constituent can be segmented into smaller and smaller constituents up to the level of individual words. Up to the level of individual words, it is going to be segmented with the help of this constituent grammar. Next, this is the CFG. I told you non-terminal symbols, terminal symbols, and it is starting symbol S, and a finite set of rules of the form A derive alpha, that is earlier I defined like alpha derives beta, okay, where A is a non-terminal and alpha is a possibly empty sequence of non-terminals and the terminal symbols. Okay, this is a sample example of this context-free grammar. So grammar, a sentence can be noun or verb, noun phrase can be a pronoun, noun phrase can be pronoun or noun, and it can be determinant, nominal. And again nominal can be noun, nominal and noun, nominal can be noun. Like this, we are going to derive this grammar rules, and accordingly this grammar is going to give us the sentences. So this is what is all about this context-free grammars. Thank you.